Good afternoon, everybody. This is Stephen and Paul from WinExtra bringing you your daily brief for February 17th, 2011. And we kind of apologize for not being around yesterday. It wasn't for lack of wanting to be here. We even had the show recorded.
Yeah. Somewhere along the way, when the show was exported, everything went to pause.
About halfway through, your video went away and your volume was like, didn't even exist.
And yes, we didn't notice that during recording time. Everything appeared to be working on my side, and you obviously could see and hear me because we were talking.
Yeah.
So we'll try and track down what that is, whether or not it's Skype Vodburner incompatibility or whatever the case is, but I don't know, or whether or not Hudson's computer was just having a bad day. I don't know, but we'll track it down anyway.
So just to quickly recap.
Yeah, we had a lot of stories for yesterday. There was a lot of news, but I think we've kind of trimmed it down to the four that you guys should know. We're not going to go into any detail here. This is shotgun, but for you Windows Phone 7 owners who happen to own Macs, the first Microsoft app is available in the App Store, and it's just for you guys. It's the Windows Phone 7 connector, which will allow you sync your Windows Phone 7 or your Zune with your images, your music, your iTunes library, all that sort of stuff. Small download, 2.5 megs, thereabouts, and of course it's free in the App Store, so, go ahead and get it.
Now, even though it took, 6 or 8 weeks for the beta of Internet Explorer 9 to reach 20 million, it's taken approximately 2 days for the release candidate to hit 2 million.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yay!
Yay.
All right, good stuff. So 2 million of you have the RC. One thing we did discuss yesterday, just very briefly, if you are on the beta, when the full version comes out, there's not an automatic upgrade path to the full one. If you upgrade to the RC now, you'll get the full release by auto update and save yourself the whole hassle of having to restart and stuff.
We have word that on March 17th in North America and March 18th in the UK, we are going to be getting another Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Yeah, finally that's going to be coming out. 17th, as you said there, North America. 18th in the UK. Of course, I want to get my hands on it, and I know lots of other Assassin's Creed players do too. Also, the Mac release, for those of you who are Mac fans, is possibly slated for March as well. So we could all be getting some Brotherhood goodness. Assassin's Creed.
If that doesn't crank your Angry Birds, this one will. Angry Birds apparently coming to Windows Phone 7, but there is a caveat. It will not be here until the Mango update for Windows Phone 7.
Which, with crossed fingers, will be around October. And also, we're hearing that Angry Birds is coming out in 3D, but we're not sure for which platforms.
Dumb idea.
Yeah, and I'm so pissed because yesterday we had Angry Birds music and everything lined up for the intro.
I'll see what I can do about for today. Now, on to today's stuff. There's a rumor going around that we are going to see a Windows 8 tablet, I think from Dell.
Yeah, this comes out of a leaked Dell roadmap for, what they're shipping tablets-wise, which was run on Android Central. You guys can probably see it on the screen there. It's not very high quality, but, you can discern enough from it. And it looks like in the first quarter of 2012, there's going to be a tablet called Peju, P-E-J-U, which is apparently refers to an area in the Napa Valley of California, and I only know that because I read it in the notes. I'm not that smart. But apparently, there's also another tablet coming out called Rosemap as well, which is slated for June 2012, and it's supposed to have a 1366 by 768 pixel screen. That makes it higher than the Honeycomb screen.
Yeah. I know
Windows 8 this early?
Yeah, this was getting me. Is like we haven't even heard a confirmation of when we're even going to see a beta.
We haven't had beta releases. We haven't had tester releases. We've had nothing yet, and we are now getting roadmaps with hardware release dates.
You don't think we might end up seeing a Windows 8 beta this fall, do you?
We'll have to if there's going to be machines come out first quarter.
Here's the thing: this totally puts it out of cycle for didn't like Microsoft now has learned the lesson that if you want a new operating system to hit properly and make you money, it's October. What are we getting in spring? We're getting this makes no sense at all.
It mightn't be a desktop version. It may just be a tablet OS, the tablet version.
Testing the waters, so to speak?
Yeah.
Maybe.
We may have Windows 8 come out first on tablet devices because there's only X amount of hardware platforms to have to support, and they don't have to worry about, drivers and printers and all that sort of stuff, all the stuff that kind of plagued Vista back in the day. They'll know exactly what platforms are coming out. They'll be able to do the drivers and just launch them while they polish the desktop release for later on in the year. It could be a staggered release.
That would be interesting from that point. Yeah, that would be interesting for Microsoft to do that. Okay, one of the rumors going around we've talked about before is Zune disappearing, getting merged. Don't know what the hell they're doing with it. But Mary Jo Foley has a post out today with Microsoft moving ahead with a new live services platform for the living room. Part of the rumor being that Zune is going to be slid into Xbox.
Zune's already on Xbox.
No, but more so than what.
You mean it becomes not just Zune on Xbox? It becomes Zunebox or Xzune
or just Xbox.
Deeper. Yes.
Xbox Entertainment. Who knows?
Or as they have put it there, living room platform.
Typical boring Microsoft naming conventions.
Yeah, we'll have to see what's going on with this. It doesn't look. I'm sorry, but really these rebrands mean nothing to me except that management and marketing have their head up their arses, because Zune as a brand is well known to any Xbox owner. Okay? Well known. All they have to do is grow that brand.
Yeah. Not
rebrand it again and confuse everybody.
This just came out this morning, but there's for those of you that like toolbars in your browsers, there's a new Bing toolbar with Facebook integration. All at once now.
All right, Mike, can somebody explain this to me, please? Maybe I'm simple, but yeah, thanks, Hudson. But why on earth would you develop a browser that is, Chrome-like, that is minimalist, that is very good and gives you maximum real estate, like IE9, try the RC, and then slap a bloody great ugly toolbar on it? At what point doesn't Microsoft just... Okay, I know Microsoft wants people to, maybe install their toolbar in Firefox or somewhere, But seriously, Firefox users have different ways of getting to Facebook, okay? The Bing toolbar. Build the functionality into IE and make it something that you can just optionally turn on or off without the great, big, ugly, bloody toolbar sitting there with a second search box and all the crap that comes with it. Microsoft, switch on, please.
Let me guess, you don't like the idea.
I don't like toolbars, period.
I know, neither do I. Ooh, kinky. Microsoft's getting into bed with Kylie Minogue. Whee!
Yeah, the Pixie of Pop. Apparently what's going on is that she's launching her European tour, Aphrodite Les Foiled European Tour 2011. I just murdered the name of it. It's probably in French. But Microsoft are going to have Dance Central and Dance Central as the main sponsor for her tour. So everywhere that her tour goes, there's going to be and that's 35 events, or 35 stops, more events than that. There's going to be Connect set up and all of that sort of stuff where people are going to be encouraged to out-dance Kylie. Now, don't get me wrong, Kylie Minogue is a great artist and whatnot, but if you've ever seen her perform, the one thing the girl cannot do is dance. She's a robot on stage, but she's got a lot of backing dancers. You'll watch them dance, and she barely moves, but she, just about does. But no, the girl can sing, but dance ain't her thing. But so maybe a lot of people will be out dancing her, I think.
That's an interesting idea.
You know what? It's good to see the branding and the marketing going out there, and it's good to see as well that they're going to hit. Well,
it's as much as like with Felicia Day and her web show The Guild.
Did you
sponsored?
See? Yeah, go on.
Well, that show is now sponsored in total by Microsoft.
Yeah,
and they have no say on the show. There's no overt Microsoft branding. It's just that it's available through Xbox, and that is a unique way to market.
Did you hear, speaking of Felicia Day, because this will get you going,
Dragon Age.
Dragon Age web series starring her.
Yeah. The BioWare and her, I guess, have come together. They're creating a Dragon Age Origins web series.
Yeah, and she's supposed to play a smart, talking, foul-mouthed character.
One of the female mages.
Yeah.
Or witches or whatever. Cool
All right.
idea.
Now, from Xbox goodness, where Microsoft is in bed with a pretty lady, to Xbox badness, where Microsoft is not getting into bed with developers.
Yeah, okay, Apparently. Because I've been seeing flashes come across Twitter this morning saying this is getting blown way out of proportion. It's getting
blown way out of bloody proportion altogether, okay? My source for this is Adrian Kingsley Hughes, ZDNet, their blog Hardware 2.0. Microsoft bans GPL v3 open source from Windows Phone and Xbox apps. And basically the conclusion that he and other people is coming to, the erroneous conclusion, may I add, is that Microsoft wants to keep its platform clear of free software. Free as in open source.
Yeah.
And this is utter bollocks. Okay? It's only GPL v3 licenses that Microsoft is blocking. Now remember, a heck of a lot of open source software out there is GPL 2. WordPress, for example, I know it's not something that's on Xbox, but that's GPL 2. And everybody knows that's free. That's free, right? It's GPL 2 or 3 if the developer so wishes. Okay? Now, you have to ask yourself, why would Microsoft not block GPL 2 and versus why would they then turn around and say, okay, look, GPL 3, we can't have that, okay? There's a couple of reasons. Now, I only had a chance to dig into this very lightly pre-show, but obviously I've done more research in 10 minutes pre-show than, the guy I just quoted did. It's basically, it comes down to this. In the GPL 3, there is provisions for patents, okay? And what it boils down to, the long and the short of it, is that there's a term in there called knowingly rely, okay? So if you knowingly distribute software that relies on patented software, as in, the stuff running on top of Xbox, then what happens is that if the user distributes knowingly relying on a patent license, then the source code has to be made available, or the patent has to be put aside and not be enforceable, or you have to basically open source that patent. Microsoft's not going to do that.
No.
It's not going to deprive itself of the benefits of having a patent license or extending that license further down the stream because somebody put up a bit of code up there. And because it's their platform and they sell it and it comes through them, they will be defined as knowingly distributing software that knowingly relies on the patent. Yeah. All right? That's just one reason. Secondly, there's a new section in GPL 3 that deals with protecting users' legal rights from anti-circumvention law. Basically dealing with the Digital Millennium Copyright Act and all this sort of stuff, okay? So basically, it's basically saying that, let me bring up a quote. I've gone all blind and I can't find my quote. But basically, in a nutshell, it's intended to prevent GPL3 covered code from being included in technologies or products that would be used to enforce the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. So if this code is on it, then you can't protect it. Okay? So you can't put a DRM on. If you put an app up that runs on Xbox is DRM'd, you can't DRM that app, which means you have to turn off the DRM for that. Microsoft's not going to allow that to happen.
No.
Finally, the last reason is a thing called TiVoization. All right, this is also addressed in GPL3. Basically, what it is what TiVo did is TiVo basically runs on a Linux kernel, okay, and it's GPL2. But what TiVo did was they said, okay, here's the source code. Do what you want with it. But they put a mechanism in place whereby if you try to sort of like reflash the hardware and put your own source code in there, even though it's Linux, it won't run because the hardware detects that the code is changed and won't run. Okay? So, that kind of a provision in there is also not something that Microsoft's going to want because developers, hackers, they're smart. They will find a way of getting code into an app or on there that is GPL3 and say, oh, look, we can do this. Because under the terms of GPL3, you not only have to give us access to the source code, but you have to ensure, too, that we can put our own source on it and run it.
Yeah.
And Microsoft isn't going to allow that. So here's the long and the short of it. Microsoft is allowing GPL software as long as it's GPL2. And doesn't explicitly force Microsoft to have to remove their DRM or give up, stuff like that.
It's obviously this one's going to be hot in the blogosphere for the next couple of days.
Well, you know what? We'll put a link into the show notes, and for yourself as well, Stephen, to a PDF by Liz Laffin. It's from September 2007. It's only about 12 pages long. But it compares GPL2 and 3 and gives the pros and the cons, the arguments for and against, and all the repercussions and that sort of stuff. And it's well worth a read. And I wish that a lot of the people reporting on this today had taken the 15 minutes or so it takes to read this before writing their posts.
That would be too much to ask. But on that note, this is been WinExtra's Daily Brief for February 17th, 2011. That's Paul. I'm Steve. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.
See you tomorrow, folks. Have a good one.